This week's guest is local businessman and owner of Patellini's Pizza. I'm Rob. This is the Sarasota SpeaX Pre-Show tailored by Tweeds. What's up, everyone? I'm Rob. This is the Pre-Show tailored by Tweeds. When you are looking to level up your style game, come on down to any of our Tweeds locations, including right here in downtown Sarasota. There's a little QR code on the screen. Feel free to check that out for some more information. This week, we are joined by local businessman Anish Patel, owner of Patellini's Pizza. Welcome.
Hi, Rob. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So first question. You started your career working in the family business. Sure. Patellini's has been downtown for about 30 years. What have you noticed in terms of growth and change in the downtown area?
I mean, it's been incredible. When we started here, there wasn't even buildings 5-10 stories high, and now there's an actual skyline, and we've seen the growth over 30 years. I grew up on Main Street, and it's just been incredible to watch.
That's awesome. And I understand you've kind of built up your portfolio over time of affordable housing here in Sarasota. How did you decide to jump into that arena?
Well, originally we had employees at our restaurant, and we needed to provide them housing, and so we started picking up places near downtown area, and then we started doing that, and then we just kept going over time, and then now 5 miles from here we have about 100 properties and continuously growing that.
That's awesome. Going back to the family business, since this is something that you grew up in your opinion, what makes the perfect pizza?
Perfect pizza, the dough for sure. The dough, timing, good cheese, sweet sauce, and that's about it.
Nice. And then last question, I know you've worked with Tweeds a little bit. Is there anything that you'd like to share about your experience? Anything for people who maybe haven't worked with us yet?
Oh, I mean, I have plenty of Tweed suits, the best in town for sure. And the green one that I got, the original green one that I think you fitted me for, and yeah, I would recommend it highly.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, everyone, that is going to do it for the pre-show. Remember, when you're looking to level up your style game, come on down to any of our Tweeds locations across the state of Florida and beyond. Check us out, tweedsuitshop.com, and visit us on Instagram at tweedsuitshop. Stay tuned for a quick sneak peek of this week's upcoming episode with Anish Patel.
All right, so picking it back up here, we've talked about, Patellini's, we talked about the real estate portfolio and Loanova funding. I want to unpack Loanova funding in a minute, but let's jump back into the real estate investing because everybody wants to do that at some level. I don't care if they've admitted it or not. Like if you've made a little bit of money, the next logical step typically is real estate, right? But a lot of people get burnt doing that. And one of the things that you've done really well with is you've got a very good success record, right? You're a really good track record in that. Do you relate that to one specific niche, or what's the strategy for you guys now that you figured out that you didn't have then, right? Because originally it's like buy and hold, just kind of figuring out. Now you guys have a little bit more strategy behind it. What's your strategy and why does it work?
Can I add to that too?
Sure.
Do you guys target multi-family homes or single-family homes currently?
Doing single-family homes. The largest thing in our portfolio is 10 units. So we target that area because what happens is anything you go bigger to that area, it's small families and small single owner landlords, you're priced out. The big boys that develop and the GCs, they can build and do things at a cost basis that I could never do. Sure. So once it comes down to the numbers and I rent it, my profit margin is so razor thin just to do what they're going to do at a huge level. Yeah. And usually when people are playing those games at the biggest level, they're raising private equity, which brings a whole other component to it. They have investors, which brings a whole other component to it. So there's less control. Now you have to, deal with so many different things. And I think for starting out, like you said, I think it's sticking to the game plan that you create in the beginning, right? Which is, like I was explaining earlier, does the rent cover the debt service? You have to factor in vacancies. You have to factor in all these things, and you have to be confident. It's still a business at the end of the day. Anyone says I'm in real estate, I have passive income. There's no such thing.
Mailbox money,
no,
baby.
It's not true at all, right? But you still have to treat it like a business. And another thing is as you grow, you learn things. Like for example, for us, everyone always provided washers and dryers, but we were spending so much money on washers and dryers because we're not taking care of them. You're not taking care of them the way you would do at your home. Or another thing is we would have shower doors or that would break, and small little components like that, or the type of tile we would put in, or the type of windows we would put in. And eventually we would streamline it to where it's like
the type of roof they put on.
Yeah. I mean, I want to go all metal on everything these days. But
right.
Yeah, but that same thing. Now it's like, okay, we have this one specific code of paint that every unit's going to be in there. So you start streamlining the process, and you start getting better at where you can save money, where you can save time. And the biggest game really is keeping units full. And I have people who are always like, yeah, I'm just going to keep it on market for Zillow because I want $2,500 a month. But the market's at $2,100, and if they waste 2 months, you're down $5,000. If you just run it at $2,100, now it's going to take you 40 months to make that up. You know,
right.
And that's moving with the market. In fact, I try to price slightly below the market because then you actually get to pick your tenant.
Yeah.
Right. So you get quality tenants, and when you get quality tenants, you have less headache. It's easier to run the business. You have less turnover, and so I mean, it's just come up with that game plan and be confident. I think the scary part is doing that first one.